And welcome back. Welcome back to Shut It. How you doing? How are you doing? How you guys doing? It's been a weird week. It's been a crazy news week. Real news, real awful news. So I choose to focus on dumb news of the week. Yes, of course, I know there are way bigger things happening in the world, but we need to give ourselves a little bit of reprieve. Look it up. All right, you guys, this is a really good one. I haven't read it yet, but I just love the title. Breaking news from the New York Post. Are you ready? New Yorkers are ditching their therapists for psychics. I just kind of gave up. That's right. That's the headline. No one could have seen this coming, except perhaps for those with the gift of second sight. That's the tagline. Some New York area residents are fed up with their therapists ditching their shrinks for psychics who gave them real guidance instead. LaFay, who was named the top psychic medium by Time Out New York last year, good on you, LaFay, has clients who see her for readings over psychotherapy, as well as those who do both. She does psychotherapy and psychic readings. Okay, a 2-for-1. She also recommends some clients see psychoanalysts too. I do not shy. This is her talking. LaFay. Is that her name? Yeah, LaFay. I do not shy away from suggesting therapy if my intuition or my logic and clinical background suggests so. Right, because she's psychic. She'll be like, I think you should probably go see a shrink because I can't handle this. I don't know. I can't imagine going to unload my problems on somebody who's got like a crystal ball and a bunch of tarot cards. That's just not but that's for some people. And that's great. I'm not judging. Actually, when I was in college, for fun, we used to go to this cheap and cheerful old man bar. And then after the bar, we would go see, those psychic with a neon sign. This was in Philadelphia. And there would be like a sign with a hand that said psychic. And we'd go to that for fun, drunk. And I just remember paying like, I don't know, $10. And it was like in somebody's house. It was like the storefront, but it was actually somebody's house. So you could see like the TV on, you could smell the cooking in the kitchen. And there were, the husband sitting there like, oh shit, Dolores, she's got a customer. All right. And so she shoos him, get out. And then she puts on a little scarf and lights some incense. And then she says stuff like, you're a sensitive person who may be a little bit vulnerable. And we laugh because we were like, oh my God, I am sensitive and I'm vulnerable. And I can't believe I just wasted all that money. That was a fun time. Back then, back in the day, back in the Temple University days, going to psychics. But I do remember this one guy who was in our school, in our circles. He went to the psychic, but because he was really upset, his partner broke up with him. And I think some of these psychics are not very on the up and up. And he ended up going to this lady, like depleting his bank account. I remember that because he was obsessed with this person. And this person was like, well, if you come back and you do this and you do that, and if you come back. So he kept coming back and we're like, don't go back. This bitch is trying to like just take all your money from you. And that's what she did. So, I'm not a psychic. And I told him, I don't think she's legit trying to help you. I think she's trying to swindle you. So if you're going to go see a psychic, you should probably go to one that's not going to rob you. Anyway, let's finish. Let's finish the article, shall we? Okay. I had all these. This is the LaFay. LaFay was a social worker for families of homicide victims as well as domestic violence counselor. So she quit her job in 2011 as her growing psychic powers left her feeling burnt out. All right. I had all these gifts, she said, in my social work job. All my gifts are like Niagara Falls. Sorry. She explained, I wound up having trauma because I was taking on the trauma of all my clients for 10 years. I think that's called no boundaries. I think that's what that's called. And if you go to see a shrink, then you'll know that. But then you became a psychic, so you already know everything, I guess. I don't know. Let's finish. In 2009, she opened up her first psychic mediumship practice after learning how to master her gifts. Okay, she looks pretty psychic. While she learned to talk to dead people... Sorry, let me reread that. While she learned to talk to dead people accurately, LaFay said she's grateful she never had to use a psychic mediumship abilities when she was a social worker for families of homicide victims, but grew tired of having to bite her tongue when she was receiving intuitive downloads with some of the clients. So what if these people that she was meeting with, who their loved ones were murdered, couldn't she say, I think I hear a voice. It's so-and-so from 3 towns over. I don't know. That's just me. A therapist can't really feed you information that's not sort of like clinical, she said. Really, they're not supposed to put their opinion in even at all. Right. You're not supposed to give your opinions when you're a therapist. Like, I know I could never be a good therapist. I would be the worst therapist in the world. And someone would be like, yeah, and then he did this, and then he told me I was a piece of dirt, and then he cheated on me. And then I would just tell the person to go tell them to go fuck themselves. Get all your shit out of there. Or no, better yet, get all their shit out of there, kick them to the curb, get new locks, and do something clever where you have to call the cops and then they're put on a list. And then I'd probably be disbarred because that's not what you're supposed to do. I would make a terrible therapist, but I'd be on your side. You know what I mean? I'd help you hide the body. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not like that. I don't like violence, but I would tell you to kick the person to the curb. If someone was mistreating you, I wouldn't go, well, I wonder why that is. I think maybe you should examine why. No. Tell him to go fuck himself and change the locks. That would be my remedy. But maybe I should start my own non-licensed therapy called tell them to shut it and go fuck themselves. All right, let's finish. Now able to give information she had to hold back in therapy. Okay, now she's able to give the information, like she can really unload because she's psychic. LaFay charges $497 for 1 hour for a psychic reading, though she said people shouldn't be seeing a psychic more than every 6 months. Yeah, that's your little excuse. Yeah, but you shouldn't do it too much because I think I'm a bad person. $497. I'm a psychic. Look, I think I'm a psychic. Like, I know when my dog has to go out to pee. I know when my daughter, I can tell when my teenager is upset, because she's sighing and rolls the eyes. And I feel like I'm a psychic. And I don't charge $497. I will only charge you, wait for it, if you're a Shut It subscriber, and you want me to be your psychic / life coach, I'm going to charge you $25 an hour. Okay, not an hour. $25 for half hour. If you like it, then we'll continue for the full hour, $75. Like and subscribe. Hit me up. I'll be your psychic. I have tea leaves somewhere. I have Lipton tea leaves in the cupboard. All right? I can do this. I'll have, downloads and stuff like that. In addition to being a psychic, LaFay is a coach and the head of her own school. And I see a picture of her. She's pictured with Melissa and Joan Rivers. Okay. All right. So Joan Rivers endorsed her. If you don't put limits on this, people will wind up calling psychics to see if they can cross the street or not. Oh, so she's saying, yeah, don't go too much. She said, noting she hopes to help people so they never need to see a psychic again. Yeah, because you charge $497 an hour and that person's broke and they can't see anybody again. I'm trauma informed. My education in psychology and my 10 years in social work gave me ethics and morals, she said. Really? Are you sure about that? Because that seems like a lot of money for an hour of just you going, oh, maybe I think I see a man in your life. Yeah, he has hands. Oh, really? Does he have hands? Yeah, he has hands. Oh, my God. And he has feet. Oh, my God, he has hands and feet. I think I know who this person is. I work with this guy with hands and feet, and I think he's checking me out. Yeah. Does he have eyes? Yeah, he has eyes. How does that happen? Oh, my God, you're psychic. Here's $500. You dummy. All right, I'll be a psychic for less than $75. Let's go $50 for an hour. How about that? Anyway, not just psychics, she says, but many people in the field of spirituality and self-help really don't have that. They don't have the gift. It's unregulated and sometimes, or a lot of times, can do more harm than good if you don't know what you're doing. Yeah, like my friend from college. He was addicted to this. It's true. He was addicted to this psychic. He would go to this woman all the time. And that's what love does. It makes you give your money to an old lady in a row home in downtown Philadelphia. Whatever. Both LaFay and Sabatino said spotting a scammer is easy. If a psychic approaches you versus the other way around, that's never a great sign. And pay attention to what they're charging, too. These people, are they even listening to what they're charging? Like, this is, okay. Sabatino said, while some psychic scammers may have some intuitive gifts, they'll use their knowledge as a hook to tell people they need to pay more money to heal their blockages. There you go. That's like my friend. There should be absolutely no upsells. A price should be sent in advance, LaFay said. And if 80% of someone's reading was accurate, but 20 wasn't, don't go back to that person. All right. What do you guys think? Would you go see a psychic? Have you? Hey, maybe someone is a psychic out there. Are you a psychic? Do you know things before they happen? Did you know I was going to talk about this before you press play? Have you gone to a psychic? Did it really freak you out because everything the person said happened or was going to happen, or eventually maybe you did? I'm trying to think. I know some kind of psychic-y people a long time ago. And I had a few weird things happen. I can't remember, but it's always back in college. Always weird stuff happened back in college, but not really psychic things. Like nobody said, oh my God, I see you someday. I see you having a podcast called Shut It with 228 or whatever I have subscribers. That's what I see. And because if somebody had told me that, I would have probably killed myself. I'd have been like, what? I'm going to switch my major to business or law. No, I'm just getting started. This is episode 34. But no, I never had a psychic say, I had a psychic. I don't even know if they were psychic. I had like a lady come up to me at a comedy show when I first started out in LA. Like I was there for a minute and there was an older woman there. I'll never forget this. I was at like an open mic in the Valley. And I don't know, she was like a TV writer or something. She was hanging out. I guess she wanted to try out some new bits. And I just started comedy. And this older black woman comes up to me. Older. Then I was in my early 20s. She was probably like 35. But she came up to me and she goes, you're going to do this. If you're going to do this stand-up comedy, she says, move to Chicago because it's much better. You're going to read more. I don't even know why she said I'm going to read, but I actually did. And I did a lot of reading. She said, they're smart. Move to Chicago. And you know what? She was like the Oracle from the Matrix. I guess what I did? I just said, oh, of course. And I actually moved to Chicago as soon as I could. I didn't even last a year in LA. I moved, and that's where I really started stand-up comedy. So yeah, that's a psychic. But she wasn't a psychic. She was just giving me advice. So I think people give a lot of liberty to the word psychic. I think like some people find, like, I know there's like remote viewers out there who work for like governments who like can remote view and they see stuff and they're hired by like the CIA. I heard about it. I don't know if it's true, but I don't know. You can Google it. I'm sure there's probably a lot of theories on that. But do I believe in this? Like, I think there are people who have more insight, I guess, what's the word? Intuition? I don't know. Anyway, I think if you're psychic, I want to hear your comments. And if you want me to give you a psychic reading, I will 100% do that. You know, it's funny when you do stand-up comedy, you kind of are, because you've been doing it for so many years, at least for me anyway. A lot of the times, I can kind of sniff out what's going on with the person, especially if they're the people who sit up in the front row. And it's about body language. It's about the way they hold themselves. That's body language. But it's just like, boom, because it's international here. Sometimes I'll get it down to like, not just the country, the city. Like this wasn't that long ago. There was a woman in town, or everybody's from everywhere, all over the world. And this one woman, I go, where are you from? And she goes, South Africa. I go, oh, Pretoria? And she's like, how did you know? And I go, I don't know, but you look like you're from Pretoria, and you definitely don't look like you're from Cape Town. You definitely don't look like you're from Durban, because she's like, I guess she looked like more of like a New Yorker, and that's what like Pretoria's like, more like a New York, like a city, like a business city. And that's what she looked like. And I was like, yeah, you just look like, if you were from a city, it would be Pretoria. It would definitely not be Cape Town. She's not like this hippy dippy, although Cape Town's not hippy dippy. I don't know why. But I was kind of psychic, and I do it a lot. I do that all the time, like all the time to people, and they get freaked out. They're like, how did you know? Like, I remember this one other time in Paris. This was after the show, and there was a guy and his girlfriend from the audience, and I just looked at him. And I said, oh, you're from the States? And he goes, yeah, Colorado. And I go, oh, Boulder. And he goes, how did you know? I go, well, I can tell you've got that preppy kind of like, you're like hiking, and I just started rambling of like what his life it was back in Boulder. I go, yeah, and your parents are like hippies, but they're not hippies anymore. They're kind of rich because they own a lot of real estate. And you've got these like North Face jackets and like $200 hiking boots. And he's like, oh my God, that's like my parents. I'm like, yeah, it's reading the room. It's not being a psychic. I think it's if you've doing this long enough and you've traveled enough, you can sort of just surmise, okay, that's that person. But once in a while, I do get it wrong, and I get it really wrong. Sabatino said clients typically come to him 2 to 3 times a year with specific questions or general readings about the next chapter in their life. His specialty is tarot card readings, which he calls a form of divination. I got to reread that. Which he calls a form of divination. How do you say that word? Divination. Divination. That's it. Divination. Isn't it divine? Like the divine, the divinity. Anyway, it's that and prediction, he says. A full 60-minute session costs about $250. That's expensive, I'm gonna say, for somebody going on. I think it's this because I have divination oh God, I gotta look this word up. I'm sorry, I can't do it without looking it up because it's gonna drive me crazy. And I don't like to go crazy.
Divination.
Say it again.
Divination.
What?
Divination.
Divination. It sounds like a quick divination. I think it's just divot like the guy, like the computer voice said. Okay, similar, fortune telling. Telling the future, divination. I think we all learned a word today. And I'm excited because I'm not only giving you dumb news of the week, I'm giving you like, I don't know, if your English is your second or third language, I'm giving you vocabulary words. It's my native tongue, but I'm kind of an idiot. So I just, shut up. This is going to be fun. Okay, let's go back to the article. I'm a very pro therapy person, he said. I've helped many clients explore the potential of entering therapy or recover some sort of psychological help if I see that it's needed. Good on you. Anyway, let's move on to this because we have to read the comments. We got to read the comments. The comments are the best part. What are people saying? I'm going to sort it by the best. As the New York Post says, it's the best. Sort by best. Who rates comments? Seeing a therapist every week is like they want you to keep coming back. It's almost like an addiction in a straight way. Okay, that doesn't. All he cut and pasted something from the article. Nah, I don't know why they judge that as the best. Ken Neville says the problem with therapists today is that they are in it to make money for themselves, not in it to minister and serve the clientele. They are in it to profit, blah, blah, blah. We know that. Okay. But that's whatever. All the services. Jimmy Ray says, as someone who works in the mental health field, this is extremely accurate. I found that out in my first week on the job and was appalled. Precedence goes to those with insurance. People with poor government insurance are often waitlisted. Yeah. All right. We know that. And Lasmataz, exchanging one brand of fraud for another isn't likely to change any results. Ooh, okay. All right. This is true. Alex Kiji says the short answer is common sense. No charge, no drugs, no lies. All right. Cryptic, but I like it. Cotter Key says therapists tell them what they don't want to hear. Psychics tell them what they want to hear. Hence, they feel validated. It's a profitable scam to prophesize to the most gullible amongst us. Okay, Grumplestiltskin says, Madam Zamba, my astrologer and personal life coach, says that anyone crazy enough to pay $497 for a 1-hour reading should quickly see a psychiatrist. So, Grumplestiltskin commenter went to see their psychic, and the psychic told them that this person who goes to this $497 an hour psychic should go see a psychiatrist. Full circle. You know what I'm saying? All right, you guys, what's going on with me? I had a show last week. I have a show next week. We have a big show next week in Lausanne, and then a fun one in Zurich on the 31st. We're going to do a Halloween show, and all the tickets can be found on my website, jenkirwin.com. I hope you guys, if you know anybody in Switzerland, come on out, come on over, look me up. I'll give you a psychic reading. I'll give you a psychic reading for free if you come to see my show. And just to introduce yourself and say, hey, Jen, it's me. I heard you're a psychic. And I said, I already know that, dummy.